This is Daniel Simon at Baton Rouge Community College, and this week I'll continue talking about History 1113 summer course. I'll kind of go over the week two modules, kind of a preview about what assessments are coming up and what lectures I'm doing for that week. So I'll kind of go ahead and show you right now in modules about what's going on for week two. So if you go to week two section, you can see that can be started on Monday, June 10th. Of course, the lectures for that week, one of the main lectures I'll have will be on the history of the Phoenicians and Israelites, which kind of goes into like the early history of like the Jewish people. So I do have the Canvas announcement, which is right here about both those lectures for you to watch and view for that week. There's options for course for those lectures. I do have a part one and a part two lecture for each one of those lectures if you want to watch them individually. And I do have a combined version I've also created before, which has part one and two together, both about the history of the Phoenicians and Israelites. That one has mostly just the PowerPoint lectures, like the slides in them, of course, for that lecture. Then below you can see it does have like comments, questions. Like if you have comments, questions about those lectures in discussions, do let me know throughout the semester about that. You do get bonus points for that discussion section there. And then below, if you go down below, scroll down a little bit, of course, you can see I do have the announcement about the Canvas quiz number 3 on the Phoenicians Israelites. So there's an announcement about it. And then, of course, do have the quiz number 3, of course, for that, which that'll be due later in the semester. I've got a due date right now, Wednesday, June 19th. But like I said, I think other assessments have been extended before, like I've talked about. Now, below, if you continue in discussion in week 2 of the Canvas modules. Also, you can start in week 2, Monday, June 10th. I do have another series of lectures I've got on ancient Egypt, which goes into the background of early history of Egypt. Kind of goes up through like the Old Kingdom. And I do have an announcement about that too. That particular lectures are not going to be on an assessment for this week. It'll be put onto like a first exam, which will be more into week 3, which I'll talk about later in the semester. But I do have like a part 1, which kind of goes into like the early background of Egypt, its culture and early history. Kind of talk about a few things in there about like the gods of Egypt. I think I go into like how the Egyptians mummified the dead. And so kind of talk about all that, those kind of things. And then I know the second lecture, part 2, goes into like the Old Kingdom, mostly discussing the age of pyramids, when most of the major pyramids were constructed, which I think the most famous ones were built by the 3rd and 4th dynasties of Egypt. I do have a combined version too, if you want to watch that one as well, which that one kind of has just the PowerPoint slides in them, but you can also watch that one as an option as well. And then, of course, below they do have like a discussion section that I've got as well. If you want, of course, have any questions or comments also about those 2 lectures overall, which you, of course, like I said, get bonus points for that. So I'll try to have other questions up there. I'll probably add in discussion like I've done before. But like it says right there on the bottom, those lectures on ancient Egypt are not going to be assessed on week 2 until week 3. So later in modules, can't really see anything yet right now. But week 3, that'll be, of course, more into ancient Egypt, middle and New Kingdom, mostly of Egypt. I'll have the first exam I will have a little review I'll have for the first exam that I'll have. So right now, students should be working on the week 1 assessments that I had, the Canvas quiz number 1. on prehistory. And then you had also Canvas quiz number 2 on ancient Mesopotamian lectures. So both those, of course, will be due soon in the semester. So that's kind of giving you an idea how the semester is going, of course, for Canvas modules. Also, a few other things to remind you about. Don't forget, if you have information, like I want to know about book reports, like what book you're reading for the summer, do let me know about that via email. Now there is a limit, 2 students per book. So, you need to, remind you about that overall for that project. And by the way, if anybody's interested in that, those 200 bonus point projects, either the Veterans Project or the Student Historical Documentary Project, do let me know about that as well. So that's pretty much it for this preview for week 2 modules. If you got a question about the course, you can go, of course, directly to discussions, ask me anything in there, or you can also email me at my main email address you see above as well. So that's it for this week. So like I said, most of the main assessment is going to be on the Phoenicians and Israelites in this week. So take care, and I'll see you, of course, later throughout the summer semester.